Hello guys, sport enthusiasts, welcome to Sport Muftivation podcast. Now we are here with Jaopann, a.k.a. Pann Na Nakorn from Thailand.
สวัสดีค่ะ
How are you, JP? Now?
Very nice. Today the weather is quite good.
Yeah, because it's winter now, you know?
Yep, it's going to be colder anyway.
As the tropical countries, we are
Yes.
suffering.
We suffer so much, but it's okay.
It's okay, we are suffering and we are struggling for the best future in the world. Okay, now we're gonna talking about of course, it's about the sport because we are the sport management persons. So before we talking about the sport, can you tell us about how you growing up?
Actually, I studied in high school before, and I moved to the international school when I was grade 7.
Okay.
So that's kind of built up in the things that I do a lot of activities. And then I go to Thai University, which is international program for tourism management. So in a way, in the tourism management, there's the event management and all. I get used to it. And a little bit backward, my dad, he's a coach. So I get always be in his environment, how he talk about sport, how he's coaching. So
Yes.
I'm always there. That's why I'm very, I would say, familiar with sport itself very much. And then after struggle in career path a bit, like I went to coffee, I went to chocolates, I went those culinary things, and then I jumped to sport management because one of his friends want me, who are good in English to start with, to be with the international relations stuff.
Alright, so basically your childhood is like the influenced by sport by your dad, you know, as the sport person. But what's your sport?
Actually, I was trained as a swimmer for competing, and it's like just for competing sake is really hard already. But I don't do that to compete. Actually, I just build up the physical. That's what my dad wants. And then there's badminton. That because Thai people we play badminton for socialize and everything.
Yeah.
My dad, golf person himself, he don't want me to play it because he's like, there's too many people who's wasting their time in this. But along the way, I always dance. Yes, I'm trained to be a dancer till 15, and I stopped.
Okay, so mostly your sport experience influenced by your dad, and then how can you fall in love with sport at that time?
For me, I'm not considered as a fall in love. I like the events before, and I kind of know how it's work.
Yeah.
And helping people in working is always my priorities. So when I assist my team as an official, I feel like I need to help them. I want to assist them have the comfort and how smooth things should go during that time.
I see. So, and then how about your educational background? I think you are now as a sport person, so do you have like educational background in sport or not?
I would say not at all.
Okay.
But because my dad, who had the gym himself, and whenever he researched something new, he always tells me, and I'm part of his the lab mouse of him.
Okay.
So when he have a program, he will use me like, okay, try this program for me and all.
Wow. So how about your background in bachelor degree?
Bachelor, so as I said, it's tourism management, so it's related to events. Sports is events is always in the same place, so that's why I get used to it. Who's the parties to do this and all? I need to consider that. So to jump into sport, have a bit of background from my dad. It's easy for me to jump into sport management.
Okay. So you can purchase all the knowledge from the tourism things into sport because I think it's still related, right?
Very much related.
Yeah, so in the events, everything. So basically, the management thing is like related to it's like common things in sports. So we can collaborate the trans knowledge to implement in sport, right?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna talking about the sport management things, which is based on your experience. So you are the sport administrator in which organizations?
My organization name is quite long, so Sport Association for the Disabled of Thailand.
Okay.
For the disabled. So actually in our country we have like 4 disabilities. We separated us from the disabilities. And yeah, from mine is the physical disabled. So the wheelchair, people who can walk, lost their limbs, is gonna be under my care.
Yep.
And yeah, we are the biggest disabled associations,
Okay.
and we like 4 of us under Paralympics of Thailand.
And then what's your positions?
My position is actually the international relations by the title, but I specially manage whatever related to the Paralympics.
Okay.
So if you say like the Para Asians Para Game, it's gonna be my care. Anything that builds up into Paralympics, those gonna be in my care. So if I'm not here, I'm gonna be in Paris 2024 for sure. I'm like for sure to be there, but I'm here.
But I want to know that why do you choose para sport?
As I say, the opportunity just come.
Yeah.
It's hardly people gonna approach the disabled sport.
Yeah.
And because my dad's friends were already working in the para cycling,
Yep.
yeah, so she's like, we need someone who gonna work with the National Paralympics Committee.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's me that who need to read things and summarize, like renew the updates and all to my team, kind of catch up how the flow of the informations go. Yeah, she said it's hard for the old employee manage those all of them by themselves.
Okay, so as the sport administrator, of course, how your job looks like, you know?
I would say organize.
Okay.
In like these are like big words, but I organize informations, and part of the biggest responsibilities is actually the passport.
Yes.
You know, keep track, not let it expire.
Yeah.
Manage these kind of thing, and see if the numbers of people are related to the money, the budget,
Yep.
those kind of things.
Okay, so all the things you handle that, you know, it's very complex, you know.
Yeah, it's very complex. So everything thrown at me, I need to manage it through and see what's to be done next. And between that is always like the political thing that I need to handle. So in a way, it's very complex.
You handle everything. Of course, you know, outside from the sport, you should to manage, you know, how can the external factors, you know, because there are the things that you should to solve all the problems, even it's outside the organizations.
Yes, for sure. Because let's say we travel somewhere, we need to go with airlines.
Okay.
Some airline don't accept wheelchair more than this number per flight.
Yeah.
Some airline consider the luggage more, so wheelchair and all of that are going to be charged.
Okay.
Those kind of things is really complex.
Yeah.
And every events, tournaments also have their own nature.
Yeah.
So I need to understand how is this go. I need to communicate a lot with the NPC, the National Paralympics Committee. Yeah, those I need to see through the details till I finish each job.
It's such interesting stories because it's the para sport which is different from the normal or ordinary sports, right? So what are the challenges or barriers in this case?
Majority is gonna be the transportations.
Okay.
Yeah, people who is disabled on wheelchair, hard to move, taking longer. So that we need to consider. Is there a lamp to go up? Yeah, those are very crucial.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just example, but it's always coming to all the time with that same problems.
Okay, so there's a lot of challenge that as the sport administrator, because I think there is no not that much that people who help the athletes,
Yeah.
So how can you manage all the things?
I would say communicate a lot, because I would say that sometimes they just keep things to themselves and don't know how to express it.
Yeah.
I would say disabled people are not trained to communicate like normal people. We go to school and we all meet a lot of people. Disabled, they kind of stay in one place, so they meet the same people. They kind of lack of the communication. So I always ask, what is it want to be done? Are you okay with this? Do you need other assistance? So the very active communications always play the role.
Because it was like many of the categorizations of the disability people.
Yes, that as well. Classification.
Classification.
Yeah, in specific words. So in every sport, classifications different. Different code, different everything.
Okay.
Yeah, and that we cannot tell that who is classified as who because that needs a classifier who is like a doctor. Yeah, so it's really medical terms, hard to reach, hard to be there, hard to be classifier, hard to be be in the international levels like this.
So you have to know like one by one this classification and that one, you know.
I would say as an administrator, I don't need to know that deep.
Okay.
I just remember that who is in what class to start with. But like for example, the sport coach themselves gonna know deeper that this class and this class can combine in the competitions.
Okay.
But they're gonna have different events, medals, and so I don't need to know that deep. I just need to consult with them.
Anyway, how long you've been as the sport administrator in this?
Actually, not even 1 year. Yeah, but I need to go through things, so that's good. Very intense.
So it's an impressive story because you know you did a lot of things in para and you should like you learn something that quicker because you have responsible to understand about this case, about the people, about the organization, and also about the events. The para events. I think it's too much, but you should of course it's our responsibility to handle it. So next question is, in your personals, like what's your biggest achievements?
I would say I think it's the Cambodia 2023, the Asian Paralympics. I would say it's the second big game that I went. But because the first time I don't know a thing, so that's a bit like I received the job, the whole job from other persons, and I just take care of it. But the second ones, I build up everything, the accreditation. So slowly I build up the whole process, and I take care of stuff. And because I organize things, it's easier for other associations to use this information as well. During the stay in Cambodia, when they have other problems, like this problem, they don't need to handle it anymore because it's already organized. That's I'm really proud of.
Wow. So I think you got a lot of medals, right?
Yeah, from that is our our teams do very much better as well, and also in our regions, your country, Indonesia and mine are doing fine. More than fine.
So, do you think there is any other achievement? Let's say we heard about the return of purpose or return of objectives as as the personal in para.
Maybe relationship among the National Paralympic Committee. Because my association kind of have like how to say Cold War with them all the time. But for me to like neutralize everything and it's worked smooth in that sense. So it's very subjective, but I feel like it's gradually better and the information is being shared more than ever.
Because if the para sport is such a challenging, of course, but we can learn so much like any other aspect. Like we have a good relationship with the people, and we can learn something about the para, and we can take care. So, do you have any additional opinion?
If you're not familiar with the para sport, you might feel there's this very common knowledge that I heard. People don't feel comfortable seeing disabled doing sport. And actually they should perceive, from my perspective, perceive that sport is something that make them healthier. So instead of like they cannot move at all, they're able to move themselves from place to places more because they have strength. And disabled people have a really bad health because they're not exercise, they cannot move that much. Sport make them stronger in that sense. They live longer from that as well. And also, most important part, they have a job. They can help themselves. They can earn their own money. They can have a car instead of depend on their families. So in a sense, like see disabled people in a different way. And I would say the easiest way for disabled people to earn money jump into sport is fine.
Uh,
Because once you jump into sport,
mm,
people in the para sport, they kind of figure
Yeah.
what are might be good at.
Yeah.
So you're gonna throw in different sport till you settle.
yeah.
Yeah, you're being forgive a lot. So you don't need to have like sport background to be in this industry. You can stay longer because let's pull off talents as well.
Oh wow. Okay. It's ton of things because I never heard about the para sport inside like deep like this, and then I heard about something there's not about the how to handle the administrative things, but also the whole things because the disability people should the understand the background something like that, and then how to handle. But I think it's not that easy, but as the person who are responsible to handle this one, here's the things. And then I think how can you have like the energy like this, you are like passionate to this case, and then what's your inspirations?
I think it's more of like empathy. Yeah, I feel like I want to make everything smooth out. And for para sport, because it's considered to be new, it's not that structured, so everything needs to communicate about everything. You need to understand them, talk back and forth all the time, and that's making me what I want to make them comfortable. Yeah, I want to help them. So in that sense, I have passion for them. I would say during the game, Cambodians are really active.
Yeah.
I completely died. Like after the sleep, not waking up for like 14 hours. Yeah, and I got feedback from my colleagues that you move a lot. You've been everywhere. You stay everywhere. I'm like, wow. I was like, when it is there, the passion is like running.
Wow, fantastic. So, is there any social value, let's say, in your experience?
I think it's applied to every job that involves people. So understand, give the job in the best way you can. It's help people.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's to start with.
Wow, wonderful. So because I think the audience here never heard about the para sport before, so it's such good stories from JP, who taking charge in para sport in Thailand. And then I have the last two questions. First, do you have any message for the sport administrator in para sport?
For now, since I'm studying here, I'm not sure what opportunity is gonna come.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm gonna further studies another degrees or not. But as far as I see people in my association really miss me. But with the education, higher education, you cannot expect the same positions when you go back. So that you need career wise, you need to think about it well. Maybe that's. I'm not sure, but it would be good. Because I get used to it already. It's not hard for me to keep this going.
Okay. Oh yeah, by the way guys, we are now as the student in the Global Sport Management in Dream Together Master Program in SNU. So we are here together. So we learn together about the sport management things, which is a lot of
A lot of things. Management who knows a lot.
Okay, last questions. What's your message to the women in all around the world in sport organization? Because you are the women sport administrator. So what's your message?
Let's start like this. From our regions,
Yeah.
women are not really discriminated. So from me, I don't have that much of problems, and I would expect the same treatment around the world as well. So in our country, it's like, women can take charge, women can do everything. They can do better than men in this sense. We are always perceived in that way.
Yes.
So we have our own role, but in a way open for opportunity is going to be nice for women's empowerment.
Yeah. Wow. So here's the thing, guys. So as the sport administrator, especially in the para sport, we learn from JP from Thailand. Is her experience, her own things. So basically, sport is not only about the things that only sport, just how to play. But as the sport manager, sport organization, there's ton of things we should to handle, especially for the sport administrator like JP. So I think to stay in love in sport organization, it takes time. It takes process. I think So just I think just love it, with your heart, fully of your heart, and then you just to be kind and being helpful. So I think it can work in the sport organization and stay hungry to learn anything about the knowledge and get the experience and invest yourself in literature, in knowledge and in skill. I think we can grow up and as a better sport administrator. Jimmy, thank you very much for this session.
Thank you.
Such insightful sessions. So I have the best, all the best for you for
you
the
so
next future.
You too, movie.
Thank you. I can see you again.
Yeah.
And by
Bye.
sport motivation and sport enthusiast. Thank you.